Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bleeding Metal podcast. My name is Pia, and today I originally planned to talk about music production, but I think my guest can talk about so much more. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, hello everybody. My name is Käthe Traumfahrt and I'm a music producer and also a very spiritual person. I learned my profession at the Hofer College in Germany. It's online teaching. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about everything.
Yes, I found the combination so cool. And the first thing that I thought about when I saw all the things that you're doing, also, you just started healing through music. So something completely different, or you could think something completely different from music production. So my first thought was, how do you choose your clients, or do you choose the clients you work with? Is this whole spiritual thing something that affects you in your profession?
A little bit. It's for me, it's not so important that the people are as spiritual as I am, but it's for me important that we have
A certain vibe.
yes, and the ethics are the same, not 100% the same, but
That you share the same values.
yes.
Or tell us a bit about the start. When did you decide to do music production? Were you a musician before and then you thought, well, I should train in this field as well? Or was it the other way around?
I was a musician first, and then I just started recording my own songs just for fun, and then I noticed that it's a lot of fun for me. And a friend of mine was student of music production and audio engineering, and then I thought, okay, I want to do this as well, and then I started studying it, and so now I'm here.
And you're also specialized in pagan music, right?
I'm specialized in music production, but not in like live music. I can do this as well, but not so good. My profession is very in the studio.
I don't know how it's called, but you have all these light technicians and also the music technicians when
Yes.
it comes to live music.
Mm-hmm.
But is there a special music direction that you focus on?
Yes, I focus on rock music, but not only. I like alternative music, everything that's a little bit
That's so mainstream.
not so mainstream, yes, but also pop songs, but maybe with a little spice, maybe with special instruments or something unusual. I like those things. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I made a lot of children's songs.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
I have two children, so maybe
Oh,
they would like it, I think.
they are very, very cute. I don't do it anymore right now, but maybe one day again. Yeah.
Which instruments do you play? And how did you start as a musician?
Honestly, I don't play so much instruments. I play a little bit piano, but my main thing as a musician is singing. I'm a singer, songwriter, and music producer, yes. And also I do percussions and a little bit drums. I'm a drum person. I'm a beat person. Yeah.
The rhythm person, yes.
Yes.
Please tell us a little bit about how your day looks like when you're working with an artist. And do you also help with the songwriting when there is need, or how does that usually work?
It really depends on who the person is and if the person has experience or not. And sometimes I also work with people who are not musicians, only interested in music, and they just want to do something and sell it. It's like ghostwriting, it's ghost producing. It's their name, but I made it.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, and in this projects they mostly need a little bit more support from me, and sometimes people don't really know what they want. For example, I had a person who wanted intro for her podcast and sound effects for the podcast. It's also a spiritual podcast, by the way. And she's also not a musician. and she did not really know what she wants. And sometimes it's a little bit complicated to get to know what the person wants, because it's even more work for me if I just try something out, maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 different things, and then I send it to her, and then she's like, yes, I like it, but it's not perfect. I'm not so happy. It's okay, it's good, but I want the people to really be really, really happy with it, and not just like, okay, that's good. I don't want it to be good. I want it to be perfect.
Yes, I understand.
Yes, and sometimes people are musicians, but they don't really have the technical knowledge. Sometimes they just need some support. I just ask them if they want help with my opinion or not. I just ask them in the beginning, hey, if I have an idea or something, do you want me to tell you or not? And then they say what they want.
Yeah, that's what we all know from the big productions, that a band goes to the studio and then there is the producer and
Yeah.
always saying his or her opinion on the songs, and then in the end they have the result. Yeah. How does your studio look like? Do you have, for example, a special room for the drums? How does it look like?
I only have one room. I use plug-in drums. I have a dream that one day I have a room with a real drum set, but I'm not this far at this point right now. Maybe in 2 or 3 years. But right now, plugins are good enough. Yeah. And it's only one room with a lot of instruments, small instruments, flutes, percussions, piano, and just my monitoring space. And it's not so big, but very, very cozy and warm. Yeah, it's very special place. There are many musicians in this building. It's a big building with many musicians and a lot of studios, and the building is alive. You always hear some people making music or singing or something, and I love that.
A building for creativity.
Yes,
Also spreads on what you're doing.
totally. Yes, I love it. It's like a aura, music aura there.
What's most important for you when working with clients? Because I just heard that you said you have a very cozy place so that people can feel good and so that they can just let go all their creativity. And or I know from a guy who he produces music videos, and he says for him it's most important that the people feel good, because then they perform good. And I could imagine it's more or less the same with music production.
Yes, totally. It's so important for the people to feel comfortable because, for example, if they record vocals, the vocal recordings will not be good if it's too cold, or if they have the feeling that I will judge them for a bad note or something, or if I say you only have 3 takes. Yes, I'm more like, we do it as long as it takes, and if it takes 10 times, we just take 10 takes and whatever. Just take your time, and I'm patient. I'm very, very, very patient. And I think that's very important for the people to feel comfortable.
Yes, especially for bands that are not that famous yet, who maybe record their first record.
Yes, totally. And yes, like tea and drinks, everything is also very important, I think, especially for the singers. If we take 10 takes, then the voice is
Yeah.
hurting maybe, or don't feeling so good. And I always have everything, and I have the like medicine for voice, Ilore voice.
It's magic. It's pure magic.
Yes, I always have that at the studio, and beautiful lights and decoration and heater, because in the winter time it's really cold there.
Your studio is called Fairycore Studio. So what's
Yes,
the story behind the name?
I wanted the name to represent my personality and not to sound like every studio. Nothing against other studios. We all are very good and very special. But my personality is like fairycore. And it's like a mixture of alternative gothic style and also the fairy fantasy thing. And that's just me. Yeah, I thought it's just a good name. And some people said to me, yeah, it sounds like girly girl. Then I said, yes, I'm a girl. And now,
where's the problem?
Yeah.
Fairies are cool.
Yes. And even if I would not be a girl, whatever, the studio don't have to be like very masculine.
Exactly. So were there people who thought you cannot do the job because you are a woman?
Yes.
Yeah, really? It's 2025, people.
I have funny stories. In Germany, we say not audio engineering, it's Tontechnik. The word ton is also the same word like clay. If people make mugs or something with clay.
Mhm.
When I said, hey, I'm an audio engineer, but in German, I'm a Tontechnikerin, people like, you do mugs and something. And no, I'm a music producer.
Oh, damn.
Yes, and that happened a few times.
Okay.
Yes, but I have to say, I also work with people in social care working. People who do social work are always
Not talented in techniques and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And also, when I had a band, I was a singer in the band, and we had some gigs. And when we had the sound check, some audio engineering things went wrong. And then I was telling the audio engineer there what was wrong, because I understood what was wrong. And he was like,
Mhm.
no, you don't know it. And you really have to know things about that. I'm the professional and you can't know anything
Mhm.
about that. And I was like, hey, I'm a professional too. And I know our technique stuff and I understand the problem. If you just would listen to me, we could solve the problem very fast. Yeah.
Mhm.
And he was like, little girl, go away, because I'm a very, very little girl and I look more cute.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then people just underestimate me.
Yeah, but even if you wouldn't be a professional in the field, you are the musician on stage, so you know your own stuff that you have with you,
Yes.
your own technical stuff. And you might also have had the problem before, so it would be intelligent of the sound engineer to listen to what you say.
Yes, that's it.
In general.
Mm,
But yeah, it happens too often also that band members are mistaken for someone's girlfriend or something like
yeah.
that. We heard that from our podcast guests very often, that stuff like that happened still,
Mm,
especially
hmm.
in the metal scene.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I'm sorry that happened to you, and we we still hope that people get to know that there are also women in the fields of engineering, that there are a lot of women on stage, that they are all very, very skilled. Because I think as a woman, when you are on the same level as a man, then you trained much harder for that. Yeah, people might underestimate you. They might think, well, I don't give you a chance because there is a guy and I can give him the job. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So how was that when you trained that? You said you had an online school?
Yes, it was very easy because I had to do everything on my own.
That's also an advantage of online, because you don't have the people in front of you. So there is not this judgment because of they see the person.
Hmm. Yes. We had mixing, teaching, and I didn't had the feeling that made a difference, yeah, for them that I'm a woman. Yes. It was very, very good, yeah.
Yeah. How about your clients? Do you work with more women because they might feel more comfortable working with a woman, or is this still more or less the same? How about your clients?
50-50, I would say. The woman who came to me always said like, hey, I wanted to work with a woman, so I saw you're a music producer. Yeah, let's work together. And the
Mhm.
men were just like normal. I think it's also a good filter because people who are assholes, can I say this?
Yes.
People who are, yeah, not so kind are not coming to me.
Mm.
Yes, and maybe if I would be a man, they would come to me.
Mhm.
And so it's a good filter. People who are cool are coming to me because I'm a woman, and that's nice, I think.
Yeah, I heard that of female vocalists, that also their cycle, it plays a role in how they can sing. And it's always good when you have a person who can relate to that. So you're a woman and you are also a vocalist, so that fits pretty well.
Oh, yes, that's very nice. Yeah.
Have you rejected someone who wanted to work with you?
I stopped collaboration with a person who wanted to produce a song with me, and it started good with him, but after a few days and a few tries recording everything for him, I noticed that he's a little bit trying to get more than he wants to pay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was trying to convince you to do something that he would have to pay extra fee.
Yes, he was a little bit like toxic person who gaslighted me and everything. And then I was just like, no, I made a lot of work already, but I don't want to finish that. I don't feel comfortable with that. And that's it. Yeah, it was not comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good when you notice that. And I think that's also something where your second passion helps you with listening to your gut and also, yeah, not forcing yourself through a situation that you don't want to be in.
Oh, yes. We all should learn that. But if you're self employed, you have to stand behind your own back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we also have this as music journalists. It's not that hard, but maybe on a lower level that we sometimes get music from bands. They want our opinion. And sometimes they get mad when we say our real opinion, like, well, I was so kind, I gave you this music. Why don't you write a good review? And we are like, well, we also have a name and people trust us. So we cannot say something that we don't really feel because they wouldn't trust us anymore. So I can understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But please tell us a bit more about your other side, your other personality.
The spiritual witchy thing.
Yes.
I started last week with a spiritual music circle, and I don't know how the idea came to me. It was just when I was in Sri Lanka last year. I just traveled around Sri Lanka, and then I just had the idea I could do that. I don't know. It was just like a message from
The universe.
yes, a message from the universe. Hey, do that. It's for you. This is your next step. And then I was very into it and started it very fast. I was in Sri Lanka in November and now it's January. It was very, very fast. Yeah. Sometimes when I start something, I'm very focused. I wanted to create a space for spiritual musicians and people who are interested in doing music. I wanted to create the space where we are all safe and we don't have to feel bad for anything, for who we are, or for sexuality or whatever. We are just ourselves and we just can meet and sing and play some drums and make a very magical and also very funny space together and have a very special time together. It's a very, very special space for me. It feels so crazy that I made this.
I know that when I go to concerts, I mostly enjoy this energy exchange from the band with the audience. So
Yeah.
not all bands can do that, but Gojira is my favorite example that they give something to the audience and they give something back. And in the end, even though you're exhausted because you celebrated the music physically, you feel kind of energized. And it sounds to me like when you meet in your circle that you also have this exchange of energies.
Totally. It also felt I only had one circle last week. Next circle is tomorrow. And it also felt like being on stage a little bit because I was the leader. I was in the focus all the time. And I gave so much of my energy and I did not know how exhausting it will be. I was very, very exhausted after it, but I loved it so, so much. It was so energetic. And when the people are also in a meditation or in a little bit trance, when I look at them and I see them smiling, this is a very, very special feeling I never had before, especially the meditation, the people, and they are really, really relaxed. They are feeling this. They are enjoying my personality right now.
They let go everything.
Yes, it's so important also in such a space to be yourself, really be yourself, and don't have any issues with that because the people are coming for you. They want your energy. That's a very, very big point.
That also speaks for you as a person because to be able to let go everything, you really need to trust the person and maybe have seen the other person one or the other time, but normally in the beginning you might be completely strangers. And then you need to have the ability to give them the feeling, I can be myself, I can let go everything, I can unmask here and
Yes.
be who I am and also relax, maybe even fall asleep, because this sometimes also happens in meditation. And yeah, that's so cool that you started it and that you give the people the possibility to do that.
Yay.
And I think that also when you go to the studio, then you don't change, you're the same person. So that's something that you also bring to the studio to the musicians that you're working with, that they have the feeling that they can really trust you with their music and maybe also try something new. Or in Germany, we say über sich hinauswachsen. I don't know in English, but becoming the next step. Grow, yes, that you can grow.
Yeah, I hope so.
So how can people work with you? How can people find you?
My Instagram name is Käthe Traumfahrt. And I also have a homepage for my studio. It's fairycorestudio.de.
.de.
Yes, thank you. And it's also linked in my Instagram. You can just see it in my bio.
And you offer several help. I also saw that people can send their song and then you look into it and find out how you can make it even better. So which work do you exactly offer that are interesting for bands?
Most of the people want to record it by themselves because it's not so complicated today. To do it, you just buy everything. Maybe you need €300 for a good microphone or audio interface, laptop, and start.
Plug in the guitar and that's it.
Yeah. Yes, the skills are more important. The difficult point, recording is not so difficult. Also, today you can Google everything, you can search everything on YouTube, and there are very, very, very good and very helpful videos on YouTube. So recording is not so difficult. Yeah.
And then the important part that comes after that, working with the recorded material, is where you come in.
Yes.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Anything else you want to say or that people should know about you, your studio, or your spirituality?
I want to say something, yes, about making own music, because sometimes it's very, very hard to have a special taste of music. And if you're a musician and you make your own music, you sometimes think nobody will listen to this because this is so special and this is so weird, but I like weird music. Just do it. Just go for it. If you like it, someone on earth will also like it. You cannot be the only person with that taste of music. This is absolutely not possible. So just do it. Maybe it's not a radio pop song that everyone knows, but this is also not what you want, I think. If you like very special music, you don't need a million people to listen to it. If you have 100 people, imagine 100 people are listening to your music in their free time. That's a very big thing.
Yes.
I think it's very special.
I was going to say that you might not reach thousands and thousands of people, but you might reach exactly these people who need the music, who can relate to the music. And then you have something else that is even more worth, I would say, because they might even come to you and tell you, well, your music helped me through a hard time or whatever, or I can lose myself in your music. And that's something that for a musician is very much rewarding, I would say, especially if we are honest. If you listen to this podcast, you might listen to metal. There are not many metal bands who can make a living out of their music. So it's very important also for them to know when they touched you with their music. It might mean the world to them if you tell them. So go out there and also tell the artists.
Yes, tell them. And if you can, buy merch. This is very helpful.
Yes.
Or Patreon or something.
Yeah, exactly. And people are a bit mad about Spotify, but Spotify has a very cool thing, and that's the donation button. Some bands have it that you can donate there. And I also did that with some bands, and it's really that there's their PayPal. So Spotify, I think, takes nothing from that. So if you feel bad for using Spotify, just donate €10 or whatever per album that you like to a band, or I don't know, whatever you can give.
Yes, and the band will be really, really happy about this, because the thought that someone is just sitting in their room and doing this is very special.
Yeah, that's true. So, people out there, thank you for listening. Check out Käthe Traumfahrt and the fairycore studio, and you can find us at Bleeding Metal Pod. We're on Instagram, also on Facebook, but if you want to reach out to us, Instagram is the best way to do. I think that also counts for you. If you want to contact Käthe, then do this via Instagram. And thank you for listening. Thank you, Käthe, for being our guest. It was very cool to talk to you.
Thank you as well.
And bye-bye.
Bye.